So Pokemon Attacks. So a lot of people know iconic Pokemon from their designs, but there's one thing that's always been on my mind. How the fuck do people even survive with these things? Like, if you look at some Pokédex entries, you literally cannot stand near these things, or even glance at them, or you just straight up die. But those are just based on their physical features. What really gets me is that they have literal world-ending moves, and we're just using them like toys. I wouldn't want to stand near a laser beam, unless I'm the one committing the crime, but like, holy shit! So, within the Pokemon series, there are a total of, 934 moves in the game series. Now, some of these moves are a little silly, like Growl or Harden, but then I swear, there's literally moves out there that could just wipe out all life off the face of the planet. And not to mention that I've already talked about how dangerous some of the people in the Pokemon world are already. But just know that the tools that these dangerous people use are money and Pokemon. And you guys already know what kind of stuff I'll be talking about today in this video. That's right, this video is about money. Give me your money. Subscribe to me. Give me everything so that I can make money off of it. Okay, so obviously, yes, I'm talking about the Pokemon that people use within the Pokemon world, whether it be trainers or evil terrorist organizations or whatever. Pokemon are literally like any animal out there. But imagine they were given godlike abilities, like in those isekai anime. Like, regular Pokemon you can just find out in your backyard that have abilities that could control the weather or like have the strength to cause natural disasters of some sort. And remember, I said these are just any old Pokemon you can just go out and find. Like, just hop in your bathtub and you'd probably find Gyarados or something. Obviously, legendary Pokemon already have godlike abilities because they're actual gods, but we have literal toddlers and angsty teenagers handling essentially weapons of mass destruction. Like, can you imagine how fucked our world would be if it was run by teenagers? Yo, Russia, that was a very skibbity phantom tax of you to put memes in general, so I'm finna have to Ohio Rizzler on you. Let's go band for band. I'm sorry, I don't understand all these new terms and shit that, you know, these kids are pulling out. I'm sorry. But anyway, let me just move this over here for a second. Pokemon have dangerous moves like Thunderbolt and Hyper Beam. Like, yeah, there are some people who survive getting struck by lightning, but remember, this is video game / anime lightning, which is straight up just a divine laser beam coming from the sky. But everyone already knows that these moves are also dangerous since they're very common. But I feel like a lot of people also overlook some of like the basic moves, like Tackle for example. Tackle's a pretty common move. We see it all the time on the streets, in sports, in families, I hope not. Now this move also really depends on the Pokemon as well. Like if a little pupper like Yamper decides to tackle you, it's really fucking cute. Everyone's just gonna go, aww. Like dogs tackle people all the time. But imagine if a Snorlax were to tackle. That is a literal IRL your mom joke happening to you and absolutely just vanquishing you, just obliterating you with all that weight. So let's look at these speedy moves. Quick Attack, something that's easily survivable, like it's just someone getting in a cheap shot before the fight starts. Yeah, sure, you'd be stunned a bit, but you could probably just get back up from that. But that's the end of the weak shit, I feel like. Let's move to Mach Punch. It literally has the word Mach in it. One Mach is 767.269 miles per hour, or 1,234.8 kilometers per hour for you not living in the land of the free like us. One Mach is enough to break the sound barrier. If you don't get how fast that is, it's literally so fast that you can hear a sonic boom just from an object going that fast. So if a fist flying at you makes a loud boom before it even hits you, good luck, man. I know you slow fucks ain't moving that fast. Like, okay, fuck it, let's take a look at extreme speed. This is what extreme speed would look like to us in real life. Do I need to even explain any further? Like a literal big fluffy dog can use this. Can you imagine getting a love tackle from your dog at the speed of light? really cute way to die, I feel like. I know, let's take a look at Play Rough. Now, most people looking at this move would probably be like, isn't that the equivalent of like snuggling with your dog or something? Or just like cuddling with your dog or giving him like nice pets or whatever? But I've been on the internet for far too long and it's rotted my brain out so much that this is literally what I think of when I think of the move Play Rough.
Die.
Come here, boy.
Like, that shit would kind of traumatize me if it was a goblin like Grimmsnarl using that move against me. Like, okay, let's also take a look at Aura Sphere. Literally, that's just a Kamehameha or a Hadoken just coming at you. Like, if you were fighting someone and then they did the Kamehameha pose, obviously you'd laugh. But the moment you see that shit glowing, well, we know what happens. Hell, even Focus Blast is literally the same thing, but just charged up. And again, if you watched enough anime or have even heard of Dragon Ball, like when you see someone charging an attack up, you better just pray to God or run. Like, there's so many other moves that we could just look at here that could just end our lives instantly, and probably like a surrounding population. Draco Meteor is literally just a fucking meteor shower being thrown at you. And the last civilization to survive one, from what I remember at least, is biblical Egypt. And that was God holding back. Confuse Ray literally gives you so much vertigo that it's like you're on a bad trip during EDC and you're souped up enough to slap yourself. Psychic? Imagine getting a headache so bad your head actually just splits apart. Explosion? Well... What the fuck? Oh right, there's also stat boosting moves too. And you're gonna think, what the fuck? But here's the thing. You will understand once I start explaining something. Like, let's take a look at Agility. Agility? It's not an attack move. Your Pokemon just moves really fast and it raises its speed stat, right? But if you see that shit in real life, like a wild deer or a horse moving fast enough to leave after images, you bet your ass I'm just gonna sit there and accept my fate. Loco just raises your attack and defense, right? Nothing that big or whatever. But here's the thing. If you're having an illegal animal fight and your opponent's Pokemon just get a 6-pack out of nowhere, you know, we also have Pokemon like Coughing, literally spewing out gases that could lead to an update to the Geneva Convention. There's also the one-shot moves to look at too. Fissure, Pokemon literally opens a crevice in the earth that could swallow large cities. Sheer Cold, welcome to the Ice Age. Guillotine, literal beheading, except the creature is strong enough to do it without tools. And again, this isn't even mentioning moves that legendary Pokemon have. Dialga doesn't need Roar of Time, he could just use like Cough of Time or something and your entire family lineage could be wiped off the face of history. Arceus, again, he's God, literally has a move called Judgment and you're just being judged by God. Go figure. Groudon, he literally brings upon a drought wherever he goes. Like, you know, you could be going to an oasis or somewhere, as soon as Groudon steps foot there, done, it's a desert again. Ho-Oh, Blue Fire, literally the hottest color of fire that you could ever get. Like, I don't need to really explain any further on legendary Pokemon. Their whole existence and like their movesets are kind of the reason why that, you know, the entire Pokemon world exists in the first place. Now I know I'm talking about, you know, video games and anime, but I feel like every normal citizen of Pokemon is superhuman at least. Like, take a look at Ash, rest in peace buddy. In the anime, he's died 6 fucking times and managed to brush it off saying, hey man, I only just died, you know. Now I get it, it's because he's the main character and all, but even the likes of Jesse and James from Team Rocket have also survived things that would normally kill any of us. Again, if you don't know who Jesse and James are, where the fuck have you been? But Jesse and James are side characters, or like, you know, the goofy villains that you knock off weekly. And they've been given like 1 million electric chairs worth of shocks throughout the entire series, and they're just up and kicking in the next episode. It's nothing. Ash is supposed to be a normal 11-year-old boy with godlike Pokemon. Nowhere in the anime does it say he was a god. Ash is possibly one of the strongest human beings within the Pokemon world. Or maybe even like some other anime out there. In one of the more recent series, there was an episode where he picked up a Pokemon called Cosmoem. Cosmoem is a Pokemon that literally weighs 1 ton. That's 2,000 pounds, by the way. I mean, like, if you look at Ash's physique here, he is literally, again, an 11-year-old boy with noodle arms, and he's just casually holding a ton in the palms of his hands, like it's a, you know, a little butterfly or a little ant, and he's like, oh, look here, mom. Like, dude, And I don't really know what to say. I feel like people in the Pokemon world are just constantly in danger. And it's not because of like all the evil organizations out there or whatever. I just feel like the environment that they're surrounded in is just constantly dangerous. You know, you have people who are just used to standing near lightning, standing near like large bodies of flame that could easily give you like second-degree burns just by standing near them. They're used to just, you know, environments that could just send them into cryostasis immediately. It's insane what happens in the Pokemon world. And I guess if we're going to include like those evil terrorist organizations or whatever, like this makes the world a lot more dangerous too, because normal Pokemon are very dangerous in my opinion. And the fact that there's terrorist organizations out there just like kidnapping them and then forcing them to just do their evil bidding, that just makes the world a lot more dangerous. Now, I don't really have much else to say in this video. I don't know if it's too long or if it's been too short. Recordings felt a little bit short to me in my opinion, but we'll just see if you look at the length of it or whatever. But I just don't have much else to say. Like, this was a thought that really popped up to my head after watching like some Pokemon videos, and honestly, I think it was an interesting thought. If there's a move out there that you think also seems quite dangerous but seems a little underrated, let me know, because I really do want to know. Like, if we apply all of this to actual real stuff, it's really dangerous if you think about it. So, to the people who reside in the Pokemon world, I hope you don't, like, I don't know, fucking run into a ticking time bomb or run into an active flamethrower out of nowhere. And to the normal people in, you know, the regular world, the real world here, you know, you have a great day or whatever. But yeah, yeah.